Hey there. I don't know if you've ever watched somebody throw a pot on the wheel, so I thought I would just do this. So you get to see the little bit of my messy garage. That's my garage slash studio slash everything else. So I'll just walk you through what I'm doing here. Put a lump of clay on the middle of the wheel, and the first job is to center it. So cone it up. That's what this is called. Just kind of gets everything a little bit more, the last chance to get something consistent in the clay, making sure there's no uneven spots or anyway. That's so this is just absolute raw footage, so I don't know how well it's going to turn out. If the pot doesn't turn out, well, I guess you see one that kind of failed. So now it's centered. See, it's even. It's not lumping. It's not moving around, and that's absolutely crucial. If it's not centered, your pot won't work out. It doesn't matter how much you try, it won't work out. So now the next thing I'm doing is it's called opening it up. I'm just plunging my fingers down in the middle because I need to get a hole in there, because that's going to be the inside of the pot. In there. Okay. Now what I need to do is check and see how thick the bottom is, because if it's too thin, it means that I've gone through the bottom. So that's probably okay. Could be a little bit thicker, but I wouldn't want it any thinner than that. So then, next I do is I'm making those holes where they center the pot a little bit bigger. Okay. See that? So that's about as wide as I'm going to make the base. That kind of sets the width of the base, how far I pull it out. And then my next step is just to get it evened out in terms of thickness. And you notice that I'm doing it right now it's in a cone shape. And that just means that it makes the walls that much stronger. So as you bring in the walls up, if you can keep them into that shape, it makes for a stronger pot while you're throwing it. If you flay it out like this, gravity will pull it out and it'll just flop on there. So the next thing I'm doing now, this is called pulling the wall, pulling it up. And I'm actually just moving clay around. See, and I have to keep it lubricated, otherwise my hands will stick to the clay and tear the pot. If I get it too thin in here, in the wall here, it'll tear it apart. And we'll then have to remake it into a really small pot. Let's see, as you go up, any of the imperfections in the centering will show up here with a little bit of wobble in that lid, or in the rim here. But we'll fix that later. Right now, I'm wanting to get some height in here. So it's just going up. I need to just kind of lighten up on the pressure as I get here, because there's less clay up here and you don't want to make it too thin. And down here is still thick. So my objective is to get this clay moved up in the pot. So I'm moving clay around. little bit more. If you got a pot that's really heavy at the bottom, it means that you haven't pulled up the clay in there. Okay, so let me just turn the wheel off, and I'm just going to check the thickness on there. So when it's going around it, when the clay is spinning around, for me anyway, it feels like it kind of numbs my fingers, so I can't really feel how much is there. So it's okay. So I just got a little bit of clay down the bottom here. Excuse me, a bit of clay down the bottom that I don't want to keep on there because I can't use it down there. Okay, so next we're going to make it into some kind of a shape. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. Maybe a vase. So what I'm doing now is that I'm pushing the bottom out to make it wider. Maybe what I'll do is bring the top in a little bit so it's not as wide as the base. It's called collaring it in. Just making it thinner, kind of pushing the clay back into a smaller shape there. Remember I mentioned to you a little while ago that this top being uneven? I'm going to fix that now just by cutting part of it off. And then even that out. Okay, so let's look at what else we've got here. I've got clay or water down in the middle that I need to get that out right now so it's not too wet, or the bottom will crack as it's drying, because it'll be soggy. So let's see what else we're going to do with this thing here. So we'll just move this out. Make it into kind of a pretty vase here. See what that looks like. As you collar it in, that wall of clay gets thicker because the clay has to go somewhere. So now we can take it and bring it up a little bit higher. A little longer neck on it. You need to keep it moist or slippery, like slippery wet. There's a little bit of unevenness working out of that way, out of there too, so we need to just kind of trim that off again. And this is just it's like a really skinny nail or a thick needle on a metal handle. It can be on wood, whatever. So that looks like about it, eh? So I'll do a little bit more at the very bottom here. So a little bit of shaping, a little extra clay to get rid of. And this is a sponge that I'll just take some of the extra water off so that as it dries it's kind of a nice even consistency. And then this is a little, it's almost like a piece of, it's like a piece of chamois, and it's just and it's just on top here, and it just kind of smooths that top finish out. No, that's not going to work. There, what do you think? That's how it does, how it works. Just gonna dry my hands off here and shut the camera off.